Triple J has opened voting for its Hottest 100 countdown this week, with people around the country expected to have their say on the songs that define 2025. But with a whole year of music to contend with, it won't be an easy choice. Here to help us remind us of the year in music is Triple J home and host Anika Luna. Anika, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So what sort of things do listeners take into account when they're voting in the Hottest 100? Is it just a matter of things that sound good, or are there other things at play?
Yeah, totally. It's the vote for the best songs of the year as voted by the public. So it can be just the songs that you've absolutely rinsed. If you've loved different subcultures and microcultures, you can also vote for them. As the host of Home and Hose, Australian music show on Triple J, I'm obviously backing a lot of Australian music, and this year we've noticed a huge push for Australian music as well, which is really exciting. So it comes down to a lot of different factors, but ultimately it's the songs that you've loved, your best songs of the year.
So it's been 3 years since an Australian topped the Hottest 100 list. Talk us through some of the biggest Aussie acts from this year.
Yeah, there have been so many, a huge year in Australian music. It's been really exciting. Obviously, we've just had the Arias wrap up where Nina Geraci, Am on the Sniffers, Dom Dollar, they all absolutely cleaned up. In the Triple J world as well, we had the J Awards. So that was really cool. It saw so many incredible artists take out awesome spots as well. They've had some pretty big years dropping lots of music and also playing a bunch of shows not only in Australia but around the country. So it's been a really big year for Australian music. Now,
there have been some long-awaited albums released from 5 Seconds of Summer and from Lord. How have those been received this year?
Yeah, really well. People love those kinds of artists as well. I guess when it comes to music, there's been a really beautiful spread of acts from around the globe and also Australia that have been dropping music, and it'll be really interesting to see how they all kind of rank in this year's Hottest 100.
It's also been a big year for younger acts. Tell us about Unearthed High winner Driz.
Yeah, Driz is a legend. He comes from Sydney, You're a Nation, and he is, a hip-hop act, originally raised in the UK, now residing, in Australia, and he has just got bars beyond his years. He's so talented, and he's obviously Unearthed High winning single this year, Who's Dat? But beyond that, he's been dropping some really strong singles, been teaming up with a producer called Nerve, and he's, onto some really exciting things. So it'll be interesting to see if he ranks in this year's Hottest 100. Nonetheless, I can see him in future Hottest 100s, 100%.
Now, there is a cut-off. So last year, there were songs that didn't make the cut last year because it was a certain time in December. Are there any songs that didn't make it last year that have stood the test of time enough that you think that will make it to this year's list?
Totally. There are albums like that GNX album from Kendrick Lamar that was dropped last December as well, and so many others. The voting eligibility period is from December 1st, 2024 to November 30, 2025. So any songs that have been released in that period are eligible for this year's Hottest 100.
Fantastic. And covers performed through Triple J's Like a Version program usually get a lot of votes as well. Which ones have been popular in your opinion, or which ones have stood out to you? Yeah,
there have been some really great ones this year. Which ones have stood out to me this year? The Tasman Keith one was really, really awesome. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, he is kind of like that Australian equivalent, I would say. If you're a fan of Kendrick, you'll love Tasman Keith. He's been awesome. And there have been so many others in my mind's eye. But I would say that one's been a real highlight for me this year.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but who are you voting for this year, and how can other people get involved?
Yeah, I'm voting for the likes of Genesis Owusu, Confidence Man, Boy Soda, Teen Jesus and the Gene Teasers. Making a shortlist was very difficult, and then funneling that down is even more difficult. I haven't even submitted my votes yet because there are just so many that I want to vote for. But if you want to vote, head over to the Triple J website. That's the best place to vote. Create a shortlist. You can go, you can leave, you can come back, and you can refine your list. But voting closes on January the 15th. So make sure your votes are in by then, and the countdown is on January the 24th. So lock it in your calendar and make sure you get down and party to the soundtrack of the year.
Fantastic. Now, out of those songs that you just listed there, what is it specifically about those songs that stands out to you? I mean, are we talking like song and lyrics here? Is it the artists themselves tell a bit of a story? Like, what is it about these particular songs that really speak to you?
Yeah, I think on a personal note, it's artists who are not only creating incredible music, they're also having a huge year as well. Acts like Confidence Man have been touring all around the globe. Acts like Genesis Owusu has come back for like a massive comeback era right now. So I guess when you're so immersed in music, especially Australian music, you're always keeping abreast of what's happening across the board and the ins and outs of what artists have got going on. So I think for me, it's always quality of music and how it's resonating with me, but then also, I guess, on a cultural level, how it's resonating with others and the full picture that artists are painting as well for themselves.
Well, we're very much looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. So Anika, thank you very much for speaking with us, and happy Hottest 100.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me.